What's up? What's up? Happy New Year. This is 2024. I hope everyone is good. I hope your family is good. And thanks for tuning in. So, this is like a part two of streaming setup. Last week I did the audio streaming setup. This week I'm doing a mobile streaming setup. So, I'm going to show you guys what I use for a mobile setup. Like if I have to do a gig streaming for a client, I'll show you what I use. Now this is pretty recent. I just built this recently. Before I was just using like a Rodecaster, and then I was using like a A10 Mini Extreme or even A10 Mini Pro, the 4-port HDMI version. But I would have to do a whole lot of converting, like decimators, like the Blackmagic bidirectional converter, in order to go from SDI to HDMI. So I was like, enough of that. I'm gonna just do something that is SDI because SDI is more reliable, and the Reds that I use, they're just SDI. So I'm gonna show you guys what I use, and I'm gonna go through it bit by bit. All right, so let me turn on that light. Oh, you see that big softbox in the back? It's because of this. So this is the massive project that I was working on. It's a Gator rack, and it has quite a few things. So first and foremost, you have your power supply. This is the Furman power supply. It's great. And the AC unit. Now, I've recently understood how important these things are, because you see these Blackmagics, these things, they produce a lot of heat. So this fan is highly necessary when you're building a rack like this. So this is the Constellation, ATEM Constellation 2ME. I went with a 2ME because, say for instance, you're doing some sort of conference streaming and the client wants something inside that only them can see, and the online stream, or if you have an overflow room, they see something else. The 2ME comes in very clutch. Now I had a little experience with the ATEM 4K, like the silver one, the one before the 2ME. That thing doesn't even have a DVE, and it's kind of difficult to get like lower thirds overlaid on top of the program image. It's kind of difficult. You got to do some masking and etc. Now, if you can go with the newer 1ME, A10 Mini 1ME, or the A10 Mini 2ME, which is this one. Like if you're balling out, go with a 4ME if you need to. And this right here, this is the HyperDeck. So this is the HyperDeck HD Pro. This is not the 4K, because this ATEM is HD, so I don't need 4K. So I have two of these right here, and let me bring it up to the other shot. I have two of these. These are the Pro Grade. Yeah, V90. Oh, can you see that properly? All right, cool. So these are V90s. Now these are a bit more expensive than the regular SD cards. They're much faster. So one thing about these Blackmagic HyperDecks, I think they can do, maybe it's the 4K. The 4K can do the H.265. I just wanted something that's, pretty fast and kind of reliable. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, 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 yep. Oh, yeah. That's cool. So this not only does SD cards, they also do SSDs. Right, so this is your regular 2.5 SSD. Let me see if I can get it real quick and show you. Yeah, and the thing about these HyperDecks that is kind of annoying, they're kind of specific. So they only use specific SSDs and specific SD cards. It's black magic. I don't know. So before you get a SSD, make sure it's on the list of approved SSDs. So this one was on the approved list. This is the Samsung 2 terabyte 870 EVO. Relatively price, it's not as expensive. It's not that expensive. But these work. These work. And you don't want to find out if you buy like a 890 or 880 and then go on a live gig and find out it doesn't work. It's just bad news. So just follow the list, and you should be good to go. And below that, right here, right down there, that little thing right down there, that is the 4K web presenter. So the good thing about the A10 minis is that they come with a built-in encoder. So you can stream to YouTube, you can stream to whatever service you want with the A10 minis, but the Constellations, they do not. So you have to buy an encoder in order to stream to YouTube and etc. I don't know why they didn't build it in. They said this is the Pro version, so you have your choice of any encoder that you use. I think they could have done it. Let me flip this around real quick so I can show you what it looks like behind. All right. So I had a little, this little grill right here. This 2U rack cover, so you don't see all the power cables and etc. So the way I've done this is I put everything into the Furman power supply, and as long as you plug this in, everything powers on automatically. So that's the good thing about this. Now, this is a custom-made patch panel. So you got the HDMI in, HDMI out, and these are connected to a Blackmagic, this right here, that right there, that's a Blackmagic bidirectional unit, and that's how I connect them to the ATEM Constellation. And I have 12 3G SDI, so I just split them up. 6 are for inputs, 6 are for outputs. I have the USB, a regular USB type A, and 1, 2, 3, 4 USB type Cs. Now, one of these USB type Cs, I think it's this one. I actually have a Thunderbolt cable connected to this. So you just got to connect this to your laptop and all of these ports are active. It's pretty neat. So by just connecting to that, you get complete access to the ATEM Mini software, the ATEM control software, as well as many other things. Like if you plug in a something like a external SSD, something like this. Like if you have videos or like presentations and etc. on one of these, a client comes to you with one of those, you can just plug it right into one of these ports, and it just works. It works nicely. What I have connected to these USB ports are a CalDigit dongle, a CalDigit dongle. I have it like cable managed, tucked away in here so you don't really see any of that. And these are XLR cables. XLR ports connected to XLR cables, which goes right into the ATEM HD constellation. So I also have two Ethernet ports. So one is connected to this switch, and this switch is for internet, as well as this is what connects to all of the other Blackmagic. This is what connects to, this is the web presenter, and it also connects to the HyperDeck and the 2ME. And I have this port for Dante. So this switch by itself is for Dante. So if there's a venue that runs Dante, I can plug it into this switch and I can have this port available for Dante. Now, I didn't want them on the same switch because Dante tends to want first priority. So if you're running a Dante, just have a different switch. It'll save you a whole lot of headaches and save you a whole lot of problems. Yeah. And yeah, this whole unit, it works very well. It's neat when you can just pack it up, plug whatever you need, your laptop into this port, and it just works. Now, I was thinking of a way. Now, we know, for instance, if you go to some venues, internet doesn't always work. So I was trying to figure out the best way to get a hotspot. Now, the thing about if you go to like T-Mobile and you get like a regular hotspot, or Verizon or whoever, one thing about that is you are in the same pool as everyone else. Now, what do I mean by that? So say you go to an arena, you test out the day before, everything is working fine, the hotspot has perfect signal. Now, as soon as that arena gets filled, and there are multiple people in that arena using the same cell towers that you're using, T-Mobile, Verizon, or whatever, you are going to be throttled and you won't get priority. So I was looking at Teradek. Teradek has something that's kind of neat. Let me try to pull that up. Yeah. All right. Make sure you guys can see this. Yeah. So Teradek has Prism. Teradek Prism, which is its own encoder, and it can go to the cloud, but you can stream directly to YouTube or Facebook or whatever. It's pretty good, but I don't need an encoder. I just need data. Now, Teradek sells its own SIMs that goes into its modems. Their modems are like the Node 5G and the Node 2. What they do is if you buy their SIM cards, they have an interesting technology that they use. They use their own cellular bonding, but they have worked out with the cellular companies to put you above everyone else. So in this area, if you are in a venue, everyone right here is fighting for internet connectivity. So if you have like 1,000 people, it's your internet is going to be pretty spotty when you're using cellular service. But Teradek will give you priority and put you above this pool, so your internet would be much more stable. Now, if you do like tier 1 is a little bit more expensive. That gives you priority over everyone else except first responders. I was looking into that, but the thing is with Teradek, you have to buy their Prism, which is like $3,500, and then you have to buy the Node modem, which is another $900. The 5G version is $900, and the 4G version is like roughly $500. So I'm spending over $4,000 just for that feature. Oh, plus you have to buy the SIM card and the package, and those, it ranges from $50 a month and up. So if you guys know of any mobile hotspot that's pretty good and pretty reliable, please let me know in the comment section, because I'm looking for that. Another thing that I've recently discovered, now if you go with this setup, let's see, if you go with this setup and say you go to a venue and they have internet, now you bring your Cat 6 Ethernet cable and you plug it into this switch, your personal switch. Everything is good. Everything is working okay. Now, if you go to another venue and you get their Ethernet cable and you plug it into your personal switch, your IP address is going to change. So what you will have to do is change the IP address of your ATEM as well as your HyperDeck and everything else. A great hack is to get your own router. So Apple doesn't make these anymore, but you can use any router. And the thing is, it comes with, most routers come with these, and you can set up your own network on these routers. That way, when you set up your own network on your router, all you have to do is plug in their internet in the WAN port, and then leave your internal network plugged into the LAN port, and you don't have to change any IP addresses anymore. So you just go there, plug in their internet, you have internet, and you're good to go. You have to search for the IP address of your equipment and plug it in and reconfigure. That just takes way too much time. So that's the best thing to do right there. Yeah. So that's basically it. It's a pretty neat setup. Everything is cable managed, kinda cable managed, but nobody is supposed to be coming back here looking at this and trying to give me brownie points for my cable management. It's fine. It has enough airflow. I just left this open because I just want enough airflow to be in there, and I want quick access to these switches in case, I get multiple computers that want to do other things, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But yeah, that's it for the mobile stream. This one is a short stream, and that's what I use, and I'm kind of happy about how it turned out. Yeah, I might do a little tweaking to it, not too much. I can't really think of anything else I would need at the moment, but that thing is rock solid. It definitely beats running around with your ATEM Mini, and then you have to go with the Rodecaster, and then it's just too much to run around with. This thing comes with wheels. I just gotta pack it up, wheel it out, put it on top of the desk, connect the power, connect the laptop, and it's ready to go. Oh, and the internet, and it's ready to go. Yeah. So let me know if you guys have a mobile setup and what things you use for like your switcher, your monitor, and etc. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.